Welcome to Discover Indie Film. I'm Jeff Howard, and I am sitting across from Anna Long. Hey, Anna.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very excited to be here.
That's excellent. And I think I overheard that this is sort of like your first podcast.
This is absolutely my first podcast.
Woohoo! All right. Well, I hope it's going to be an excellent one for you. Here comes that first introduction. All right, so Anna is on the podcast because your film, Death in the Desert, let's not stumble on our words, Death in the Desert was an official selection at Film Invasion Los Angeles this year, 2025. We screened it in June. In fact, I guess we did your LA premiere?
Yes, that's correct.
That's in my notes. Yay. I like it when the notes are right. And you happened to walk home with the award, the Filmmakers Award for Outstanding Writing in a Drama for you, Anna Long. And I'll add that the Filmmakers Award, if you didn't read all the fine print at the bottom of our super long emails, that is the filmmakers jury. We call it the Filmmakers Board. That's all alumni. That's all active filmmakers. So that's an award selected by your peers. Active filmmakers working on film, currently submitting to festivals and stuff, which, nothing wrong with a grand jury award, but those are decided by like the selection committee, and we see way too much. Like we see 1,500 films a year-ish. So our opinions are more biased by seeing whereas the Filmmakers Board, they just watch the official selections. They just watch the cream of the crop and decide what they like best. So anyway, that's who gave you that award.
Oh, I'm massively honored. That is so delightful to hear.
Wonderful. And well-deserved because, well, the title is Death in the Desert.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a spoiler if I say that there's almost like a subgenre of film that I like to call original versions of death no one's ever thought of.
Oh, I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like every time I see a short film, sometimes a feature, but most of the time it's a short, submitted to our festivals that someone has an original take on the death experience, I'm just like, bravo. I'm just like, I just think it's the best thing because I think it is the most human. What makes us human is our impermanence, and having an original take on that is outstanding creativity. So I love that you won the award for outstanding writing.
Oh, that's very
for
kind.
your original take on death.
It's funny. I would love to take all the credit for it, but the character of death was such, I was talking about this at the festival, it was just such a labor of love in creating not just the motivations behind the character, but the look and honestly the philosophy of how we were going to approach how we see death and how we honor the, very deep and beautiful experience of being human, and how I saw spirituality and how Noelle, my actor, shared her spirituality with me. It was it was a really life-changing experience, but at the same time, we had so much fun with it too. So
very fun.
It's actually really fun.
One amusing spoilers. I mean, you do call it you submit it as a drama, but you easily could have gone with comedy too, I think.
Yes, we've been to other festivals, and I've been so lucky to kind of have my genre blending sensibilities really validated by getting put in very disparate categories. We were put in the kind of after hours block. So we were sharing some space with some actual horror movies, which was fascinating, and also makes me happy. I'm a huge horror fan, so it was complimentary. And at Evolution Mallorca Festival, Sandra, the director, she said, "We almost put you in the comedy," and I was like, "Oh, I don't know how that that would play out. It's not fully comedy. It's
definitely not fully comedy, but it's."
I like to call it like whimsical absurdism.
It is whimsical and absurd
and surreal, and that doesn't necessarily fit quite into one category.
Yeah,
but
it's not jokey, but comedy doesn't have to be jokey, right? Just like
no, life is hilarious. So should death.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, that's excellent. But before we keep talking about Death in the Desert, although obviously that was me who brought it up first in the intro, but of course, the point of the podcast is I'm just so grateful to people like yourself that make great films because, Yeah, no, I already dropped the 1,500 films a year thing, which means
That's a lot.
it's a lot.
I
Although
don't think people
admit I
really.
start 1,500 film. Most of the shorts I always finish.
I don't think people really register how much time 1,500 films is. You know, like how many hours is that? Do you think on average?
For me, it is almost all year when everyone else Netflix and chills, or I like to say streams and chills because I don't want to.
Yeah, of course. Why,
But I just
why have
blew it.
brand loyalty?
I just blew it and mentioned a brand. but when most people are doing that, yeah, my life partner and I have this little laptop connected by a cable to the TV, and we'll watch submissions for an hour or two, and then go on and watch the stuff that all our friends are telling us we can't miss if we want to, be able to have conversations and culture. But I'm honestly like way behind on pop culture because I'm always watching submissions. So I don't make it out to the theater that much for Hollywood stuff, of course.
But I don't
really
see that as being
Hollywood
behind on pop culture as much as being forward onto what's coming next, really.
Hey, you know what I never mention is I think on the little icon of the podcast it says meet tomorrow's filmmakers today. So there you go.
Totally.
And one of my favorite she's still with us, but she's no longer a juror. Okay. Was a verdant feminist, Caroline, and she would always say, "I'm from the future. I'm from the future where men and women are equal," and stuff. And I'd be like, "I want to be from the future too." So I like this future angle.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, so I'm grateful to people like yourself who submit original ideas that are well shot and well written, just excellent filmmaking all around. And I'm always curious where that comes from. So I do know about your dance background, but you want to just jump in and say, like, were you always a creative kid?
Oh, totally. I was always a creative kid. My parents just really, really did the most amazing supportive things by just putting paints and crayons. And my mom tells a story about how I started dancing. Not really how I started. She just noticed that I wasn't stopping dancing, that I would just be in the grocery store and I wouldn't need music or inspiration. I just was dancing my own version of, in my bio, I mentioned my dance career started really from a beat up VHS of Baryshnikov's Nutcracker. It's from like the 80s and parts of it don't hold up, but it was one of the formative little, PBS films of my childhood. And I wanted to be all the parts. So I would just keep doing all the parts in the grocery store. My mom was like, we need to just put you in a dance class just to get it out. And I still haven't gotten out of me yet, I don't think.
And you were growing up in Boston the whole time?
Yeah, a suburb of Boston.
Suburb of Boston, yeah. Excellent. So dance was the beginning. Like dance was the first. I mean, besides enjoying paint and drawing and things.
Yeah, besides the stuff that we were doing in school, like I always enjoyed creative writing and art class was my favorite. The only thing I really cannot do is music. I would love to. I love music. I adore music. I have a very strong relationship with music as a choreographer, but
I was going to say you can't separate dance and music.
No,
right?
No, but don't make me sing. This is not a musical podcast.
It is not. Okay, and I could challenge you for a worse singing voice for sure. I promise you I could.
Okay, well, later for the karaoke after hours version.
But it sounds like you so it sounds like as far as storytelling and stuff, you were still more focused on dance than like you weren't a kid sitting in a room writing stories. You were dancing.
No, but I was reading. I was reading a lot. I was a big reader. My parents really incentivized us to read quite a bit. And I was voracious, just like film, like little sponge. I loved film. I loved TV shows. And my parents were a little bit strict. I'm the oldest of three girls. So they're quite a bit strict on sex and violence in TV, especially with younger sisters, impressionable sisters around, even though they probably corrupted me a lot more than I corrupted them. But I ended up getting into indie film. Oh my gosh, my mom's going to kill me. But I was a little bit of a scamp, and I realized that if I went to Blockbuster and I picked out titles that my parents weren't super familiar with. I could get away with watching some more experimental, some more artistic, some more violent and sexy and international. And I got the license to watch what I wanted to watch.
Right. So like a European film title that didn't ring a bell wasn't like saying, oh, I'm going to bring home Pulp Fiction or something like that.
Yeah, my parents would have flagged Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
But I watched like something like Elephant, which is a very, very like dark movie. Have you seen Gus Van Sant's Elephant?
Yes,
yeah.
I have.
Yeah, I just watched it on my own and was, like really had to sit and I don't think I'm still not over that movie.
I was going to say, if you saw that when you were school age.
I saw it when I was 14. Yeah.
For those who don't know, it's
about a school shooting.
It's basically, and it's like a real time film about a school shooting.
Oh no, it's an amazing film. I fully recommend it to people to watch it. But it was one of those things where I was just a kid and just hungry for anything that I could, and understand and appreciate as like art house filmmakers. Like I never seen a Gus Van Sant film, so I just took the first one I could find. And the people at Blockbuster must have thought I was the weirdest kid, but
I bet they loved it. I bet, right? Because I was actually a kid like that too. I got into like the artsy stuff a little early, and of course in my day, like it was VHS and like even stuff on PBS and things. But there's no way to really identify. I guess it's just the soil you were raised in was more artistic. It sounds like.
I think it all blends together. Like the films that I make, I'm just kind of a genre blend of interests. Like I think that's part of the other reason I got into independent and kind of art house films is because if you have the sort of patience and vocabulary to understand just the visual wash of dance without any context, without any dialogue. There's a lot of films that won't be particularly challenging, or not. I don't know how to say. Films that I was drawn to because I just felt like, oh, this connects to the dance that I do. Like this actually speaks more to my physical experience as a performer. Seeing something like Miyazaki movies and stuff like that. They, spoke to me. Even though that's not necessarily particularly experimental, I'm not coming up with good examples, but as at a young age, I was really.
Yeah. And I imagine, and you started the dance classes young.
Yes, when I was like 3, but then I got really like committed to it when I was around like 12, 13, 14.
12, 13, which is also probably when you're looking more experimental film.
Oh yeah, totally.
Too? Yeah, because I would assume when you were 9, you weren't exactly going through the foreign titles at Blockbuster. Oh
my gosh, what was I doing at 9 years old?
I have no idea what I was doing.
In 3rd grade. Oh, you know what? That must have been when Titanic came out. And and that one, I got the oral history of Titanic before I saw it many, many years later because my parents wouldn't let me watch it. So my friends did a scene by scene play by play, almost like a table reading by memory, and that's how I saw Titanic for the first time.
So one scene with nudity, and it's off the list, huh? For a 9-year-old, that would make sense. That would make sense. Yeah. I guess I support that.
I do too. In retrospect,
then it does make me think, why did they throw that in? Like, it was fine for adults, but it's But if I had a kid who wanted to watch Titanic, I'd be like, let's just watch trust me, we just want to watch the ship sink at the end anyway.
I mean, it's not a kid's movie.
It's not.
I'm not telling James Cameron to gear his movie towards kids. That's the last thing I'd do.
True. And a lot of his stuff is, so.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Fair enough. All right, so a generally artistic person and interested in all the arts.
Yeah, totally.
Sounds like. So when did dance become the focus, or were you always dabbling in did you get a video camera? Was there a video camera in the house or anything like that?
There was a video camera in the house, and somewhere, actually a couple of years ago, my dad put all the tapes that we made as kids onto hard drives, and I have some pretty damning evidence of my first attempts at cinematography. Being a cinematographer was never in the cards for me. I think it was very clear, but no, I wasn't necessarily convinced growing up that being a filmmaker was something that somebody like me could do. And which is fine when you have a lot of interests. I was really happy dancing, and I was doing a bunch of competition stuff. And then in college, I learned more about concert dance and modern dancers and the classical aspects of it. But all my time as a kid, I was lucky. I had my best friend Erin and I would hang out, and we ended up watching like the behind the scenes features of the DVDs way like over and over again on repeat, literally more than we'd watch the movies themselves. So I've probably seen the Jurassic Park little like interviews with Steven Soderbergh and Phil Tippett like so many more times than I've actually seen Jurassic Park. So the magic and the community of filmmaking and the process of making films has always been kind of in the back of my mind, something I've been fascinated with and obsessed with. But I really did not think it was a career, which sounds silly because I spent then the road I chose was a dance career, which is also quite optimistic, I think.
It's a challenge, right?
It's
a challenging path for sure. But also it is I love that you were into those DVD extras and things, because that really is the difference between seeing that this is just something to consume and that it's something people are creating. Like, right? It makes you aware of the creation.
Where people are having fun doing the thing, like doing a really, really challenging thing. Like I loved all the Lord of the Rings, like featurettes on how much time it took to make the embroidery on some of the jackets of an extra that you'd never see. It just all of this attention to detail and all of the people who come bringing the thing that they love, and how that makes this really, really unique work environment and makes really, really unique things. Like, I don't think, I love people who love what they do.
And it sounds like you frequently respond to artistic expression.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I'm a little distracted by the painting behind you, so it's very pretty.
It is. I love that painting. It is. You're not alone. A handful of people who've sat where you're sitting often comment on our art.
No, I love art. I love. I love going to. I'm actually kind of an annoying person to go to a museum with, because I just kind of like. I don't like to like read a lot of the details. I just like to kind of be there. And I'd say I describe myself as a really intuitive artist. I do love learning, and I love taking the time to, go through the details and get to know the craft of things better. But I think my instincts guide me a lot more than...
Right. So when you're in a museum, you want to experience it.
Oh yeah,
and you're not concerned with feeling. And you're not pulling out your phone and looking up like when was it done and this and that, and you care more about the experience.
Maybe on like the third or fourth visit, or maybe if I have somebody who's like a nerd next to me, I'm like, oh wow, this is made like.
No, I'm with you. I have to be very careful about whom I go to museums with, because I like to park it for several minutes with a piece. And most people are like, no, the goal is to like, you just move through and you take everything in as you walk by. And I'm like, no, the point is to sit here for a while and take it in. But not everyone agrees.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
It is. There is no wrong way to go. At least, thank God, people go to museums at all.
No, totally. And the cinema is the same way. There's no wrong way to hop in, buy a ticket to see a movie and like it or not. It's, even I actually just wrote a screenplay because I just got bored watching a very, very good movie, but maybe it was just the space I was in emotionally. Maybe I was tired, but, and I've done this with dance too. If I'm bored during a dance show or something, I'll end up the gears will start going, and I'll start writing and making something better, something that's more exciting in my mind.
No, that is an excellent inspiration. Yeah, to be like, okay, that didn't work for me. I'm going to do my own thing. That's how a lot of great art happens.
I'm a big proponent of boredom, and
No, you're actually tapping into a dangerous tangent that we could talk about for the next hour, which is creativity is totally damaged by these handheld phones and things that allow people to never be bored, and your mind is never drifting. And if your mind is never drifting, you're not going to come up with original thoughts.
Well, I don't know. I don't really know about that. I was talking to my friend who's about 9 or 10 years younger than me, and I was like, dude, I wish I remembered more of what life was like without the internet and without phones, because I actually don't remember so much. But it's neither good nor bad. It's just who you are and how you react to it and how you handle it and where you find like your strength. Like I find strength in being bored. Maybe, I could probably talk to 12 filmmakers and be like, oh my gosh, I would have never made this movie if I didn't see this TikTok. And like, whoa, that's awesome. Like, I love that for you too. But I think I really value listening to people and being a sort of person who's tuned into my own sense of my like self-awareness, but like, what's the best version of my creative self? Hopefully.
Well, I like your optimism and your openness that yes, excellent. So I assume you chose to be a dance major for university?
I did. I was actually a double major at Skidmore College in dance and molecular biology. Yeah. I was very ambitious. I was going to be a double major with a minor in Spanish and go to medical school after. I was going to be pre-med, and I ended up only just doing the double major, but I had a great time.
I'm going to pull out a lame joke that I say too often, which is there is something really, this simulation we're in was so, the programmers were so lazy. The person on the episode before you is a writer, actor, director, but instead of going to school for acting, got their bachelor's in cellular biology.
Oh, that's so cool.
And now here you are saying molecular biology.
Yeah, basically.
But
biology,
it's basically like two creative people who are also deeply rooted in science in a row. It's like there's a theme this week.
Oh, ooh, I like that.
Who knew? An accidental theme.
I think there's a lot of creativity in science and in research.
Tons.
And there's so much research in creativity. It's just about like, I think especially in cell biology, you really have to give up a little modicum of control, especially if you're like learning about bacteria or just setting up an experiment. There's just no, you have to get so comfortable with no outcome, or oftentimes the outcome you don't want. But you learn something new from the outcome you don't want a lot. And so I think there's a lot more similarities than differences.
Sure. Was it challenging time-wise to do? Because I'm under maybe I'm wrong, but I'm under the impression that dance majors have to work their butts off.
Yeah. It was, I think, challenging is an interesting word. I think I just have like,
You just had to be really disciplined?
Yeah. If time management's important in all things. Really I'm just thinking the hardest part was because Skidmore College, for anybody who doesn't know, is like basically between Montreal and New York City. It's north of Albany. And so basically the only challenge was physically getting from the dance building to the science building through 4 feet of snow. With like 10 minutes between classes. It was really hard to do. And I thank my very forgiving professors on both ends for understanding.
For when you would have to be a few minutes late because...
A few minutes late and then like shoveling ice out of our boots. Like, sorry, we're wet. We're trying our best.
But it sounds like a really positive experience, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. I had a great education. Really lovely people. Run into Skidmore people here in LA every now and again.
Isn't it wild? Everyone's here.
Everyone's here. I love it.
There's not a university. There's not a country. There's not a community that isn't represented in this polyglot city of ours.
Totally.
For sure, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. So, as you're approaching the end of college, was there a debate to do a biology career, go into research, and/or pursue dance, or was it Were you
Maybe
always
maybe
of
a
two
cosmic
minds?
Maybe the gods were playing around because
Yeah, the fates.
yeah,
On you.
totally. Because I just applied for everything. I actually did kind of a dance theater show with my friend who's an amazing theater director. Their name's Sam Zabo, and we developed this this kind of Sleep No More-y, very dance theater version of this Russian folk tale called Hedgehog in the Fog, and it was a really fulfilling experience to dance and to kind of give sort of a little bit of narrative and character kind of performing, like contributions to a theater show, which I'd never done before. And they were like, we were transferring this the summer after senior year to the Charlestown, the Charlestown Working Theater up in Boston. And we had a great run of the show. And during it, they were like, hey, I know you're interested in a bunch of different types of dance. I was interested in the work of Batsheva Dance Company, Ohad Naharin and Sharon Ayal at the time. And they had opened up the first offer to train people in their movement language. And so I was like, I'll just apply to that too. And didn't think I would really get anything, wasn't getting job offers in Boston, I was basically ready to move to New York with my boyfriend at the time. And then I got into this program and became certified in this movement language called Gaga. So I spent a year in Tel Aviv kind of doing a graduate, like sort of like professional graduate studies, learning how to become a teacher. And so that kind of not only, gave me a bit of a professional trade, which was exciting as a teacher. I'd never thought I'd be a teacher ever. And then, at 23 years old, I'm teaching from Tel Aviv to New York, Gibney Studios, which was amazing. But it also completely changed the way I saw myself as a choreographer and found my authority in my own voice, because that whole process was very, what was very central to it was finding your own movement, finding who I am as a mover, and creating my own work. And I ended up creating quite a bit of just foundational, silly, it feels like nothing at the time, but it was something to get me started. And then I started making solos in New York, and that kind of started my career as a choreographer.
And of course you were able to, and you were teaching dance.
Yes.
And that totally lends itself to choreography, I assume. I mean, it
definitely teaches you.
Most people who teach choreograph too, right?
I don't know about that.
No? Okay.
I don't know about that, but it definitely helps you learn how to be in front of the room. Like that, which I'm not sure how many people talk about how strange it is to just lead a space, but now I'm used to it, especially as a director. But being a teacher taught me how to face a lot of fears, not in like, oh, am I going to like do a good class or not? But I realized that there's something deep down that I think people are a little afraid of each other sometimes. So I kind of decided to kind of just shift my attitude and start any leadership role that I'm in, just being thoughtful, being myself, being authentic, but being like almost even like convincing myself, lying to myself, like I'm happy to be here with you. I'm not scared. It's all great, and we're gonna do this together. Right. And
sounds like a form of confidence.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, which
is that what confidence is?
And there is no reason, and it's. And I think I find it hard to believe. I guess there might be people who don't struggle with it, but some of the greatest people on earth, I've seen all kinds of people who are hugely respected talk about lack of confidence and imposter syndrome and stuff. So I think it's just a natural thing, but also to learn that you can lead.
Oh yeah,
and you belong up there.
I think a lot of people can. I think it just requires a little bit of confidence, a little bit of delusion, and then a lot of like curiosity and understanding about the people who you're around, and not trying to I think what I learned was, I mean, gosh, this is silly to say on a podcast, but I learned was I'm a very interesting person, and I can be, I can sit comfortably, in that, but I'm not always an entertaining person. And those are two different things. And I think that's also okay. As a teacher, I mean.
That is okay. And that's such an interesting delineation, but it works because I have seen veteran actors work a very large room and just use charisma to entertain everyone at once. Like they just take over. But what you're talking about is something a little different. You're talking about leading through interest and inspiring people, not just entertaining them, but...
Oh, yeah, totally. And I've met actors that I think are very much more like me, where, once they're so interesting in all of the choices that they're making and so alive and so present. But especially comedians too, like, they're so alive, so entertaining, so funny, so charming. And then, but like, once they're off, you don't have to entertain. You can still be deeply interesting.
Sometimes they're more interesting when they're not totally putting on that face for sure. Those are amazing experiences to have so young.
Oh yeah, I'm very grateful.
And then you were doing solo shows as well that you were choreographing?
Yeah, I moved to New York and I started doing solo work because I didn't have money to pay dancers, and I didn't want to ask people to work for free, which I still also try not to ask people to work for free. But
is the dance version of the one-person show. Yeah.
Yes.
It never occurred to me that does save you on the cast budget, but of course.
Yeah.
Of course it does.
Yeah, I'm free and available for myself every day.
You can give yourself back pay when you feel like it.
Yeah, totally.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, and at that point, was film sort of just on the back burner for you?
Oh yeah, I just didn't even think about
you're
filmmaking.
Fully immersed in dance.
Well, kind of. Actually, at the time I was collaborating with a wonderful filmmaker her name's Victoria Sendra, and we did a couple experimental films together in the city, and she was very interested in highlighting all these like the subway and all these really interesting parts of New York life through dancers. And so I was actually like, I guess film was always the sneaky little like sniper in my creative career. And that was so fun. I got very sick. We filmed for a whole day on the New York City, I think 2 straight days on the New York City subway. And it was the middle of winter and it was like 20 degrees and I was just wearing like normal clothes. And I was like, this is what indie film is. I get really, really sick. And maybe I'll see this film at a festival in 5 years.
Suffering for the arts.
I learned a lot.
It's what you must do. Yeah. I'm just curious. Is the dance scene in New York just incredible?
Right now?
I don't know.
It was back then for sure. Now I don't know quite as much. I mean, the COVID has completely reshaped the arts community everywhere. I think in LA for sure too. And I think, I think there's a lot more interesting regrowth in New York right now. But let's circle back on that in a while.
Sure.
I haven't been there in a while.
Honestly, I think the reason I asked is because I think at least 3/4, if not more, of the dance films that get submitted to our 2 festivals are always New York-based films.
That's great. Yeah, it always kind of is kind of the beating heart of the dance scene. And I don't think that'll change so much.
Thanks to Broadway, there's a huge number of people with the capability to dance, right? Like if you're a professional dancer in the USA, you're gonna be there.
Well, and there's an infrastructure for people to meet each other. Like there's amazing public transit. There's an amazing class community. Everybody kind of, I think it speaks to the health of every arts community. If you can run into people, have conversations after class, see each other working, not just on the job, but just, especially with, like social media has got its good and its bad, but just checking in and see what people are experimenting with, watching like a whole, so my friend, I've got a lot of friends out here too, who just post a lot of their unpolished work, and there's so much we can learn from each other, even if it's not perfectly in the perfect thing. And New York is such a, like, we have shows for stuff that's works in progress. We have stuff for everything at every stage and for every walk of life, children and older people. So there's definitely a stronger energy right now there. But I can't speak to it personally. It's been over a year since I've been back.
I need to go year. Soon. I know. No, I mean, to many that's recent, but yeah, I get it because you were there. Well, how long did you stay?
I stayed in New York from like on and off from like 2011, 2012 to I left in 2013 to work in Chicago.
Oh, you headed to Chicago.
I lived in Chicago for 7 years.
Another wonderful city.
Yeah, another wonderful city.
With another wonderful, another thing I've learned from this podcast actually is how wonderful the art and theater scene is in Chicago.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And it feels more, I always make this very anti-coastal bias statement, which is everyone I meet who has a foundation in Chicago, it's more free of the commercial pressures of LA, New York. And it almost feels like, especially the theater scene there, feels more pure and for the right reasons. You know what I mean?
Not personally. I wish.
Okay, good. Because a lot of the filmmakers all go, oh yeah, no, I mean the actors who are here, you know, but anyway,
my only regret was I lived in Chicago and I was so tapped into the dance scene. I really didn't get an opportunity to tap into to see as much theater.
Oh, so you were there purely for dance.
Pretty much. I mean, it's a very, very strong, tight-knit community of really, really, really skilled, really talented, and really, really passionate dancers. And I will love Chicago my whole life. But I didn't. But I was busy. I was almost. Since I moved, I was there from 2013 to 2020, and there was never a time where I wasn't developing a new work, or prepping it for a show. So it was really an instrumental time for me to just dive in and get that tunnel vision and build and figure out what I do that works, what I do that doesn't work, what people like, and foster my relationships with my dancers. Because at that point, I really felt compelled to make work that was of the quality of the people that I was seeing around me. And like I was saying with New York, you get inspiration just from seeing people work, seeing what people do. And I was so lucky to have just like the crown jewels of the Chicago dance scene who were, you know, some friends, but a lot just incredible collaborators. So I was I was playing with my jewels and not necessarily looking up at theater, but
no, again, absolutely.
I can always go back.
Were you still teaching, or was at that point?
Yeah, I was teaching a lot,
and it was. I remember the term "gaga," but it was in that school of dance.
Yeah, I was teaching
right.
the.
So that program gave you this ability to go from you could go to any city in the world and represent that.
Yeah, totally. It's been
amazing.
Very exciting. Yeah,
it's wonderful.
It was so cool. Yeah, I went to Paris once and taught a week of, you know, I had no business. I don't speak French, but met some just lovely people.
I'm sure it was not a bad week.
No, it was a great week.
No, that's so wonderful.
Yeah, it's very
right.
Cool.
And so you have that as the base, and then you're doing choreography as well in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And you said 7 years, and then 2020 hit.
I needed a change. Me and my husband, my life partner, we both were dancers in Chicago at the time, and he was kind of nearing the end of his performing career. I never really had a strong performing career. I just kind of ended up making work, and I would dance in it. Sometimes I wouldn't. But I felt like it was time for some sort of change. I turned 30 in 2019, and I don't know, maybe it was some sort of just Saturn's return thing or midlife crisis thing, but and a lot of other reasons too. But I wanted to move to Berlin. I wanted to go to Europe. I love that city. I do too. And I do speak German, so it made a lot more sense. But my partner was like, I'm not so sure about that. So he ended up getting a job in Seattle. That was a really, really amazing transition for him career-wise. And then we all went into lockdown in March, and that gave me a lot of time to think.
Were you in Berlin?
No. We moved to Seattle for
you moved to Seattle
for his work. Then when the pandemic hit, I had a lot of time to think about my life and what I wanted to do, which did not involve teaching in person anymore. It did not involve choreographing for people during that year. So
during that year, but did that mean that you wanted to move on from that after the world returned? I don't know. Did it? I'm talking about returning to normal.
Returning to normal.
But I also want to know how you learned to speak German.
Well, my mom studied German.
Okay.
My parents met in theological seminary, and my mom was a theologian who studied Dietrich Bonhoeffer. And I don't know if her love of Germany or love of German language came from the text or vice versa, but yeah, she's one of the smartest people I know, and so she didn't teach me German, but I was interested in teaching German. And then when I got my degree in biology, I spent a summer in Marburg doing they call it practicum. It's an internship, and I learned German real quick over there because they don't. Or I don't know how it is now, but way back when, they hardly anybody spoke English.
Yeah, and it depends what city you're in. I'm
totally,
sure.
Yeah. Marburg is the one of the most beautiful places in all of Germany. It looks like you walk out of the bus stop and you're in like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, like totally beautiful. I got lost once, and this was back before like iPhones, and I remember I called my mom on my international BlackBerry, and I felt terrible because it was so expensive to call. And I was like, can you just like look on Google and help me get back on the street where I'm supposed to be? And she was like, oh my gosh, Anna, are you okay? Are you safe? Is everything fine? And I was literally, the sun was shining. It was a beautiful summer day. Butterflies were flying by me. And I was walking past a farm, and like horses were galloping like majestically. I was like, yeah, I think I'm safe, Mom. It's okay. I'm in danger of being charmed to death. But no, so that's, I just kind of picked up. I'm a nerd for learning languages, so it was fun to learn German, and it comes up every now and again. But I speak Spanish and try to speak a little French too. I'm trying to learn Japanese.
I mean, a huge chunk of English comes out of German, and then
totally.
the other chunk comes out of Spanish/Latin.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of French.
A little bit of French.
When we have letters that don't get pronounced.
For sure.
But that's so cool. All right, so wait.
Sorry, I've got off track.
No. I asked about the German thing.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I had ties there, and I had my brother lived there for 4 years.
Where?
He lived in Bonn for 4 years. He worked for Ford Motor Company, and they moved him and his wife and 3 children to Bonn, and all of a sudden I had a home base in the center of Europe in Bonn, and they actually lived in Bad Godesberg.
Oh, very cool.
Beautiful little spa town, bath town.
Oh, I haven't been there. I haven't been to a whole bunch of places in Germany, but I visited Berlin after I was in the Stuttgart solo festival, which is fierce as fuck. It's really, really great solo festival, and I was so excited to be part of it. But it was just, I love the Black Forest, and then so I kind of finagled my way to get from the Black Forest to Berlin. So I was just determined to see my favorite things, but I should have stopped in the middle a little bit more.
I mean, I don't have to tell you, but I tell everybody in the USA who's traveling to Europe, I'm like, stop snoozing on Germany. Please visit Germany. Like, Germany has so much to offer, and it's so beautiful. And it's such a great place. And, a lot of Americans figure they do London, Paris, and they're done. Maybe Rome. And I'm like, you've got to go to Berlin.
I think people are getting more adventurous, though. I think like Portugal is very big. A lot of my friends are going to Portugal. Spain is fantastic.
People
are going to Denmark a lot, and Sweden.
Ooh, nice.
Iceland. But,
oh my God, Copenhagen's like the perfect city, but
I've never been.
Oh,
I need to get out.
Hey.
Let's go.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Let's do it. Let's make a film in Copenhagen.
I always told everyone if you could just scoop it up with a city-sized shovel and lift it in the air and set it down on the Mediterranean coast, it'd be my perfect place.
Really?
Yeah, because
Cool.
it's the greatest city in the world, but I'm of Mediterranean descent and I don't like the cold.
The cold is tough. I will say, I've lived in some pretty cold places in my life, Germany notwithstanding. I lived in Boston, basically, South Canada. It was New York, but and then New York, which is actually colder than people think. And then Chicago was cold. It was so cold. I was a bike commuter in Chicago year round, so I was basically any day that it was warmer than 18 degrees Fahrenheit, I said no excuses. I'm on my bike, which was really cold. And then Seattle was better, but since I've moved to LA, I'm like, I don't think I can go back. I feel like I've done my time.
You have. You've been in a lot of
my
northern
winters.
climes for sure.
Like,
All right. So from Seattle, what gets you? Is this the next stop after Seattle?
So to answer your question earlier about what happened about.
Oh, that's right, because you were in Seattle
Yeah,
when
I was
you were
in Seattle.
reevaluating.
I was reevaluating. I also, but funny enough, I had made this duet for this amazing program called Dance Lovers. My friend Bear Graham does this Valentine's Day performance as duets made by couples, comrades, and crushes. And I performed this piece I made for me and my husband when we were both dancing at the time. And then I got the opportunity to restage it for another couple who just got engaged, actually. And I was looking at it because we were going to set it in the round, not proscenium. So I really wanted to make sure it was like 3-dimensionally rich, so you wouldn't have a bad seat in the house. And then I started filming it kind of obsessively. And then I thought to myself, wow, this could really translate to camera. I really love what I'm doing and playing with close-ups and playing with camera movement. I'm sure I could shoot this, and was trying to figure out a way to move to Seattle or like move out of Chicago and still kind of keep this plan on track. And then quarantine hit, and it was legally kind of impossible because Chicago had different quarantine protocols than us on the West Coast, and every state had different things. But my dancers were like, we can't do this, and ended up kind of redesigning what I wanted it to be. So I made this experimental film with my 2 other friends in the Salt Flats in Utah, and we just kind of did our best. Took our COVID tests and just went out with the time and little money that we had, and just experimented for I think like 5 days on the flats, and then I thought, I'm going to be a filmmaker. I think this is what I want to do, but I think I have to be, but I think I really want to be in LA to do it. I want to like meet people and had this, maybe delusional hope that this sort of life and network would come back to LA after quarantining, which I think it has. Like for me it has. For me, I'm most excited about of all the beautiful places to live. I think the people of LA really make it home for me, like my little new home.
Oh, that's lovely to hear.
Yeah.
I much prefer hearing that than people dissing on my hometown, because I'm 3rd generation LA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
For
cool.
me, this is the town that all your aunts, uncles, and cousins are in.
Yeah.
So when people talk about going back home, I'm like, my people came here in the 1890s.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
It's a totally different perspective too, because everybody comes in here, especially a lot of people from Boston. I meet so many people who are like from Massachusetts who end up here, and I'm like, hey, we made it out.
So you move here with a goal of getting into filmmaking.
Yeah, pursuing it like a lot more serious. I mean, I don't know. Serious is kind of a heavy word, but just kind of. I really felt like I had nothing left to lose.
And was that like a year or 2 after lockdown? Was it like after the world had reopened? Because obviously moving before we had vaccines and stuff would have been weird.
I did move before we had vaccines, because I remember when I was eligible and I filmed a little happy dance. I was so excited I got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
Oh, right. The one that people didn't want. But at your age, they were not giving you the good stuff.
No, I waited in line for that. I remember that. And I was here. I moved in February of 2021. And so I've been here for a little while, but it's definitely been, I feel like the opportunity, I feel like my film career really didn't start until I started working on Death in the Desert, because that was kind of when we were able to have in-person meetings again and everyone was vaccinated, and started working a little bit more. And in indie land anyway, more like a unit. I can't speak to studio stuff. I can't talk to big films. Not yet.
I don't think Hollywood is. Well, anyway.
I know that's a whole other conversation.
No, Hollywood does have a tradition of dance, but they've forgotten about it. I think
I don't
the
know.
Studios. I mean, every once in a while, something sneaks through. Like a great director will sneak something through.
There's a lot.
You know what I mean by sneak? Like,
yeah.
You know, they convince them you'll make money. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll make something artistic, but you'll make money. I feel like that's the. Subtext of most meetings that Baz Luhrmann has or whatever.
Man, what is Baz Luhrmann up to? I would love to know.
I have no idea. Let me text him. No,
okay, perfect.
No. Well, so anyway, you get down here. Is Death in the Desert the first project?
Yeah, it was the first narrative film I wrote and directed. And
you wrote it how long ago?
I wrote it, must have been either at the tail end of somewhere around 2022 is when I wrote it, because we shot in February of 2023.
Right. So you had been here almost 2 years, I guess.
Yeah, I'd been flailing a little bit and then finally sat down and wrote something.
Well, it's as big was it a huge adjustment coming down here?
Like socially and culturally, no, but professionally it was kind of the great thing about moving to LA when you have a bunch of friends who graduate from film school. I have a big network of Emerson friends. Is there's a lot of people who are so excited to help you and so excited to see you. Especially, I think for some people, a lot of people tell me when they go to film school, sometimes they feel pigeonholed in one place. Like they produce one thing and people just see them as a producer or whatever. And I just kind of have the privilege of just walking into this as an adult in my 30s and just being like, I am a director and this is what I'm doing and this is how you're going to see me. And these are all the other things that make me part of that. But here's how I identify and here's what I want to do and how I'm stepping into this industry. And people like my friends are so excited about that. And so they had a lot of advice.
Because they'd been here a couple of years.
They've been here, yeah, and a lot of strategies that helped them get to where they needed to do. But as you know, stepping into the industry when everything is shut down, literally, like it's literally dangerous to be on set in some circumstances. And I remember it was like big headlines, like Robert Pattinson got COVID on like the Batman set at one point, and yeah, so like the whole rules had changed, and I just kind of, luckily, like I have a lot of support systems. It was okay to like let things go slow for a little bit, and I was just kind of trying to figure out, like, just keep throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks, like, and not just like what sticks, like what to get, what jobs, like what sticks is where do I find the people who really get who I am and get what I'm trying to do, and also want to, you know, like exchange. Like I don't, like, a director is such a weird job because you're asking 1,000 people to do a bunch of things for you, as opposed to like being like a grip or a sound person where you can kind of just be like, like I'm just gonna offer myself and kind of huck myself to different things. And I feel really, really strongly as a choreographer and as an actor now, as I'm learning to act, like I want to find the people who are like, oh, I'm like so excited to like hop on your set, and like I can also hop with you and we can kind of exchange ideas, or just like be in a room and try to write something back and forth and fail, like people who want to succeed together and fail together a little bit, if that makes sense.
Of course. I think that's people who want to create together.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're not overly concerned with the result, because you can't control the results. So
No,
why
you
not
can't.
just create and then find out where it goes?
Yeah.
You mentioned Emerson. I mean, were you plugged into the Emerson community?
Oh my gosh. There like speaking of parallel universes, there is some parallel universe where I went to Emerson College and ended up as a film major. But no, I was so keen to leave Boston after just growing up there. I really wanted to, like, I was like, my parents were like, where do you want to go to school? And I was like, how do people get into Oxford? How do people go to school, like abroad or in California or like in Canada? And my parents were just like, let's just figure something out that makes sense for you. And yes.
let's find somewhere where there's a great dance program
Yeah, exactly.
and
yeah.
a good biology program, and you can feed both your
No, totally.
all your
That
interests.
was. I mean, you have one in college. Like it's
got one in
about what you
college.
want to do that really makes the decision for you. And there were only so many. Like Skidmore College is so great. They were so supportive of feeding your creative pursuits, but also giving you this like encouraging everybody to double major. I had dance majors who are who are also math majors or neuroscience majors, and they wanted to make sure not just like you have like some landing pad for your career, but also the understanding that like whatever you do, if you're a mathematician that dances, it's going to help. It's going to help your math. The math's going to help your dancing. Like we're all going to end up being well-rounded people. And I think hopefully that's happened. With me.
Well, I think long-term people with a well-rounded education will benefit more than if you're overly specific, then you have no ability to adapt to things too, I think. So
I think so.
It sounds like you got a very adaptive
which works for
setting.
me. I think I kind of wish sometimes I was a sort of specific person more often, but I'm not. I always have a foot in two different worlds, and that's kind of where I sit and where I'm happy.
Same. And you're the oldest. I have an older brother who literally like just was targeted one thing, studied one thing, went into that one
awesome.
thing, is doing that one. I know, it's great.
But it isn't me, and it doesn't have to be everybody.
It doesn't have to, no. So that's excellent. So you're down here and
then I write Death in the Desert.
You decided you wanted to make films based upon that stage in the round experience, and so then you did you sit? I guess my question is, because I should be asking one, did you sit down and say, okay, I want to write a short film that I can produce, or did you come up with the idea for Death in the Desert, and was it? And then did it lead you to say, hey, shoot me? And you're like, hey, I just wrote something that I think is good enough to shoot.
No, I really avoided writing like the plague. I really did. And I still kind of do. Because it's a really uncomfortable art form. Like the reality of it. It's just sitting there and everybody should read Stephen King's book on writing because it's so helpful in not only like demystifying what the process is to actually like sit and look at your story and look at your characters and look what you're doing. But it's also, I think everybody who has read something should read how or try to write something themselves because it's so hard and it's a craft. It's an art form that I revere so highly. I almost don't want to call myself a writer, but I was bored. I was bored in a dance class and I was next to my friend and they wanted to just shoot something while they were in town. So I kind of looked at them and was like, oh, I wonder what we could do. We could drive out to the desert. We could do something like this. We could throw together like a simple costume and just kind of like painted like some imaginary compositions in my brain with my actual friend. And then I drew like kind of like old like silent film sort of panels, like a little comic panel, but with these compositions in my imagination on paper, and then drew little subtitles on it. And I thought it would be kind of a kitschy, nostalgic kind of more experimental, kind of like what's the word? Not like a genre piece, but like a throwback to silent films. And then I was struggling to kind of thread the needle on the story, and not sure how I wanted, like there were gaps missing there. So I was like, I'll just try my hand at a traditional screenplay, got some like stupid free screenwriting software and just wrote the first draft of what did become Death in the Desert. And then I showed it to people so they could understand what I wanted to do, what I wanted to direct. And people were coming to me and with tears in their eyes, like just after reading the whole thing through. And I thought, wow, this is more impactful than I expected. Maybe I should really go kind of more traditional route and kind of make as traditional of a drama as I'm capable of. And and then that's how it came through. And then I met a DP, and I met a bunch of crew people, and kind of AD'd it myself, and we just kind of had like a little scrappy sort of team, and and just that's how indie films are made.
That's how it's made.
Yeah.
And when you wrote it, you had those two performers in mind, or because you said
I had one of and Naomi was good to go. Naomi, who plays our hiker, our soul, our dearly departed, she was with me on day one, and I forget who my friend who inspired it was not available, but luckily I spoke with Naomi's. I'd worked with Noelle in Chicago, so I'd known Noelle for a very, very long time. She's a really amazing actor from Georgia, and the added benefit of putting these two together was Naomi and Noelle were friends from ballet school back in Georgia. So they had a decades-long friendship that they don't play friends, or not obviously. For people who haven't seen the film, they don't play friends. They play strangers, but there's this really amazing warmth and ease, again, easeful intimacy between the two of them that I think was compelling to watch and explore. So it worked out. It was a lot of happy accidents that served me well on this one.
For sure. And their interaction is really the heart of the film.
Yeah, it's the only thing.
It's a performance piece.
Yeah, it's a character piece.
Yeah. Yeah, and no, more than that, for sure. There's a genuine story.
There's a story.
It's not just a slice of life.
It's like two people in a room, but the room is like the grandeur of Earth.
Yeah, the grandeur of life and death.
Yeah,
which is aforementioned something important to the human condition.
The grandeur of Joshua Tree.
I gotta tell you, it's never a bad idea to shoot out there.
No, it wasn't. It was
so beautiful.
Such a great experience. I would shoot all of my films in Joshua Tree if it made sense.
Absolutely.
Well,
and by the way, I mean it's very well directed, and
thank you.
And there was a lot of attention to detail. So even like fly noise and stuff. so I guess I'm asking, was a lot of that written, or like when you were in the post period, did you start thinking about sound design and stuff and adding to it, or
our
help
onset,
of an editor?
I mean, I just want to give like full recognition to our onset sound technician, Mike Clarkey, who really did his absolute best to battle the wind, especially in the third act, where the two of them climb up these gorgeous rocks. Some of my favorite visuals in the whole film. It's like really one of my favorite parts. But because we went up, we didn't even go up very high. It might have been 10 feet. But when you're in the desert, as soon as you go up even a little bit high, the wind starts whipping. So he was really doing his best to get us clean audio on the day. And that was basically the main challenge and the main concern. And then sound design. Yeah, me and my editor had a lot of fun just like putting in like spec sounds, and she and I love Sarah Nell. She's an amazing editor because she's supportive and friendly and positive, but also we had a lot of discussions in the edit about because we got this like really, really great coverage, and we had the hug scene, for instance. We're like, whoa, like what do we even pick? It all looks great. but we decided like, okay, let's just do a little handshake, creative handshake. Whatever we do, however we move, we're just going to serve the story first and do the best version of the story that we can. So the flies were part of it. The musical choices were part of it. The working with Phil as a composer, Phil Hamilton, who did an amazing job creating this beautiful original score. And the mixing was all part of that. But we were just trying to tell the best version that we can. And yeah, a lot of that ended up in post. But we were like, I was very happy shooting just for like I think 2.5 days. We got get that much coverage for basically like a 15-20 minute movie that we cut down. That was pretty awesome.
And you're proud of it.
Yeah, I'm very proud of it.
Look, I mean, nothing breaks my heart more than pulling someone onto this podcast and they start saying, "So I don't like the way it turned out." And I'm like, "Oh, come on, don't be hard on yourself."
No, I mean, like I said, it's every film you make it's about having a plan, having the strongest plan and plans for your plans, and then letting go of all of your love for all of that work that you did, because the outcome is never going to be exactly how you expected. But all of like if you a lot of what I teach is about letting go, and I think that's kind of helped prep my little creative control freak to understand that like film is just like, you know, whatever you get, whatever you don't get, whatever you wanted to get, it's all just like little pieces. It's all if you look at a spider web and just see one thread and you're like, oh, I'm not happy with this one thread, you're never going to have the web. And so yeah, we learned a lot. We got a lot that we wanted. We got a lot that we didn't want. We got a lot that we didn't expect to get. But I'm so proud of like this web that we can share with people. If my metaphor isn't too lofty,
I think it works just great. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, and it sounds like this gave you the taste for more. I mean, you have not. You came here to be a filmmaker.
I did.
And you made a film.
I did.
And now you want to make more.
I've made another film.
Oh, you've made another one already?
I made another film, yes. I proposed a micro short, which is, it'll be an upcoming body horror romance drama. And I pitched that script and that story through Decentralized Pictures last year. I think that was July of 2024. And I was awarded the Fujifilm Aspiring Filmmakers Award for one of their finalist rounds. So Fujifilm they gifted me. It's sitting in my house. It's my prized possession, my Fujifilm X-H2 digital camera. And they said, just here's the camera, make the film, make whatever film you want to make. And so we shot that in one day in November, and we finished post this year, probably around the time we were screening Death in the Desert at Film Invasion. I think we finished everything on 4th of July weekend, if I'm remembering right. But anyway, so I'm sending that one out to festivals, and hopefully next June we'll be able to see it.
That'd be very cool.
That would be very cool.
And micro means like under 5 minutes, I guess?
Yeah, super short, yeah.
Yeah.
Super short. Micro budget.
I mean, I think, yeah, we've had films 1-2 minutes as long as
long
as they tell a story and they're great.
Yeah, totally. No, this is a story about metamorphosis and transformation, in the emotional sense, in the physical sense with the body horror, and we also transform our protagonist's space from like the perfect IKEA domicile to like a hellscape void, like a flesh void. And then all the way back again.
That's a lot of distance to travel in a short time.
Yeah, I can't wait for people to see it. It
sounds so cool.
It was really cool. Very different.
I too have, body horror particularly, but the
I heard
teenager.
I heard you're a horror fan now.
I'm a horror fan now.
Yeah?
I am.
How do you feel about body horror?
Oh my God. I mean, I will cover my eyes when I need to.
Okay.
But we're actually, I hope you have you might be too busy for it, but if you want to be on, I think our invites for the Filmmakers Board are about to go out.
Oh, cool.
And oh my God, we have a film in the next festival that is body horror.
Oh, I got to see it.
That is out of this world. What they accomplished blows me away at the indie level.
Oh my God.
And that it just blows me away. And so the answer is, I kind of appreciate all horror. The slasher stuff I grew up on, not huge to me. Like I'm not nostalgic for 80s horror, but all this great horror that comes out now, I really like it.
I do too. I think there's a little something for everyone in the horror umbrella.
There is.
Which is very
including
fun.
artsy fartsy jerks like me, like you got. I mean, Midsommar is literally, legitimately a horror film. I think
Totally.
And I can't get enough of that.
Yeah, you like Ari Aster.
Oh yeah. Well, I like that film in particular.
Fair enough.
I know.
Hereditary is a masterpiece. Like I still can't get over how he did that movie. Like I'm speechless. I can't.
That's so funny. That's so funny because I just can't get into it as much as Midsommar. In fact,
well, that's so cool. So cool, though.
In fact, the three of us as a family watched Hereditary again before the kid left for college because all three of us were like, first time we watched it, we just didn't lock in, and everyone loves it. Let's give it another try because maybe we'll love it this time.
Yeah.
And we still didn't lock in. I can't figure out why I can't lock in on that one. But hey, not everything is for everyone.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
That's kind of what's great about like films with like a very particular flavor. Like even if you don't like it, you're just like, oh, like, yeah, it's so. I appreciate people with like super strong voices. I'd rather a big swing and be disappointed than, I don't know, just like you said, like an 80s slasher, which you know exactly what you're gonna get. Well, maybe not exactly.
Well, if you're gonna do an 80s
slasher,
slasher,
and Jason.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, like with all respect to that part of the genre, when I'm watching one of those with a kid, their job is to give us death we've never seen before. Like, I know in one of the Final Destinations, like somehow like a barbed wire fence got
Oh my God.
pulled through a kid or something, and then they fell apart in pieces or something.
Gnarly.
And I was like, and I was just shouting "woo," but not in that tone. I was like "woo," and
Yeah, it's thrills.
And my daughter was like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "Dude, the point of these films is they've got to dismember people in a way I've never seen before. That's otherwise, there's no reason to watch it. Like that's what a slasher movie is.
Especially for Final Destination. We know where the final destination is. They're telling us.
We know everything. And Freddy, every time Freddy kills someone in Nightmare on Elm Street, it's got to be a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Oh, that'd be so fun to work on.
I would love for them to hand that franchise off to like young creative people who do killer stuff. God, we've seen so much great horror out of Australia now. But anyway.
Totally.
Like I'm like, God,
I just watched Pearl last night. Like, it's an amazing movie. Have you seen Pearl?
I may not have.
The Ty West, like X and Maxine and Pearl trilogy. It's very and I was watching it with my friend who doesn't love gore, and I thought, yeah, Pearl I think will be really accessible. But there's elements of my favorite parts of horror, which is like I grew up on like Scooby-Doo and Buffy and Clue. Like I love like a twist and like a queer kind of campness to everything. As much as I love like, dark and Hereditary has no camp in it for sure. But yeah, Pearl's a diva. It's a fascinating character study. It's a performance from Mia Goth that was like, I think would take your breath away, and yeah, it speaks to so many different interests and so many different things, but it's also fun.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, we're practically getting into the next podcast, which is fair enough segue, I guess. But so the next film, hopefully I'll get to see it soon as a juror, and And you're just going to continue on. Is there anything else you want to mention before we wrap it up?
Oh, yeah. If anybody does like to dance, I do teach here in LA. I teach Gaga for People. So it's movement, it's research-based movement for all levels, all ability levels, all backgrounds, all ages 16 and up. And if you like dancing or have danced and want to come back to dance, I teach every Tuesday night at Studio A in Silver Lake, up on Hyperion. And yeah, we'd love to have you. It's been a fun like mix of really cool people.
I shouldn't say this while it's being recorded, but like one of my goals is to take dance classes behind my wife's back because she completely disapproves of how
Oh no.
I have no grace whatsoever.
We can help with that.
And I'm only graceful on the tennis court, as I like to say.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're good. This is a good place to start. It's probably harder.
And I thought I should just go to like the Arthur Murray School near here to just like learn how to ballroom dance or something, just so like I could like surprise her someday and not have three left feet.
No, we should do like a film invasion like little private mixer class for filmmakers, creatives who just want to dance without the pressure of feeling.
Yeah, that sounds rad.
Yeah, we can do that.
Excellent.
I love teaching. I've been teaching since I was 23, and like I said, I never thought I'd ever do it, but I can't imagine. Like it's not the most lucrative work that I do, but it's so fulfilling, and it's something I'll never imagine my life without. So come on to my class. It's fun. There's good music. Follow me on Instagram. You can see my I post my playlists for the week every week.
Oh, nice. And that is at This Is On Along.
That's true. This is.
But that will be a clickable link, as well as anything else you want to send over. We'll make a clickable link in the show notes of the podcast so people can, whether it's your Instagram or is there like a webpage for the school?
Yeah, totally. You can find everything you need to know about me on my Instagram or my website, which is just www.thisisonalong.com.
Smart branding. There you go.
I wish it was more clever, but I'm a straightforward person, so I feel like my website reflects my authentic self.
Absolutely. No, and look, I'm that doof who, like, when we were starting a film festival, whatever year, 11 years ago, I was like, all right, well, we got to come up with, okay, now that we have a name, we've got to get the same website and social media. Like, everything's got to match because I don't want to have to bother naming different things all the time. And I kind of succeeded.
I think you succeeded.
Yeah, we succeeded.
I'm not a social media, or I'm not a branding expert, but I like it.
Thank you.
I will validate you.
Well, I feel validated. And heck, I'm going to thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And now I'm going to thank everyone for listening. And if you are listening, this is the Discover Indie Film Podcast. So if you want to learn more about it, go to discoverindiefilm.com. On social media, it's always at DIFwins. And I will not tell the story why it is. But so that's discoverindiefilm.com. If you go to discoverindiefilm.org, that is the nonprofit that runs 2 film festivals in Los Angeles. They are both in the top 100 best reviewed list out of 14,000 festivals worldwide. Kind of proud that our little nonprofit here in LA runs 2% of the 100 best reviewed festivals. But anyway, that's Sherman Oaks Film Festival that we hold in December, and Film Invasion Los Angeles that we hold in June, where we got to do the LA premiere of Anna's film, Death in the Desert, which you really... Oh, yeah. If and when you release it online, make sure to send me a link so that we can put that in the show notes, too, because I certainly think people would love it. So
I do, too. We have one more film festival coming up. I'm honored to be included in Anchorage Film Festival in December, which is spectacular. But
wonderful.
I think after December, you won't have to wait too long for a little VOD release.
I mean, the reason why I react so positively to that is...
I know.
Is Adam. I love well, I will come out and say, people should check out the Anchorage International Film Festival. Just so happens that a film invasion, actually someone whose film was in the very first film invasion we held in 2016, and then came back years later, he got the gig in Anchorage as a festival runner and came to me and said, I don't think this is unfair to say. I think he said, I want to pick your brain. I want to do things the way you do it.
That's cool.
And I said, Anchorage? I think that's far enough away. Fine. I'll tell you everything I know. I don't think Anchorage, even though it is the same weekend as Sherman Oaks. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, no. Okay.
It's the same weekend as Sherman Oaks Film Festival, but it's a good weekend for a festival, the weekend after Thanksgiving, because everyone's done with family crap for a while, not ready to ramp up Christmas, and they're ready to just enjoy films.
Yeah, I'm so
But
excited.
up at Anchorage, I think you get to go out on the glaciers and stuff, like they do Alaskan experiences too.
I'm so excited. If you see my film, you know how much I love the outdoors. So I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah. So I'm throwing a little love to the Anchorage International Film Festival, but I'll get back to my own selfish purposes. And I mentioned Sherman Oaks Film Festival and Film Invasion Los Angeles. They are getting a cousin next year, January 2026, January 16th and 17th. Film Invasion Lima in Lima, Peru is happening. And yeah, there actually are going to be a handful of films, I think, that were at Film Invasion LA in June of this year, and some more. But anyway, the lineup's not set yet. All right. Anna, thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for having me.
And thank you, everyone, for listening.